Hey there, YouTubers. It's Don from The Way Things Used to Be. Just want to give you a quick, brief tour of my little man cave here in my little podcast recording area. Um, this is where I make all my podcast episodes. I've been doing podcasting since 2018, and it's fun. I really enjoy it, especially talking about the way things used to be back in the day. All the old time vintage electronics, vintage anything. You name it, I've probably talked about it. So anyway, I use a Windows computer to do all my recording on my podcast. I use Audacity software to do my recording. Um, and here's the unique part is I don't have a USB microphone because I've tried them. I don't really like them so much. I have a vintage analog microphone that plugs into my very old vintage Radio Shack mixer that goes into the back of my computer. I use a digital interface to hook it to the computer, but everything is done the old-fashioned way with an old analog mixer, analog microphone. And I think that the sound quality that I've gotten from that over the last few years has been the best, I think, so far. And that's how I make the podcast magic happen around here. Anyway, I've got some vintage electronics, stereo system, cassette tape, my amp. I use some pretty decent modern headphones that give me the best quality of sound when I'm putting my podcast together. And bear in mind, I do this with no budget. It doesn't cost me anything to do this. Podcasting is free. Um, I do appreciate people's feedback on the episodes that I've done, and I always leave an opportunity for people to send me an email with ideas for the podcast, which is amazing. I've gotten some pretty good ideas from some friends and some people over the years. It's a lot of fun. Another thing I like to do is I digitize vinyl records, and I do episodes of the podcast called "What's on My Record Player." Um, YouTube has kind of struck down some of those ideas, so I don't post a lot of music or anything like that on YouTube. And even the podcast, I was doing them for a while, but they've eventually caught up to me and said that I can't do that. Even episodes that have been up for several years, they're just now coming through and seeing I can't do that. So as they remind me of those things, I take them down. But there's still some episodes out there that have some very unique stuff on them. And I don't play music, just any ordinary music. I try to find odd things, uh, different stuff that you normally wouldn't be listening to on a regular basis, but novelty type stuff like cardboard records that you cut off the back of a cereal box, or those flexi records you would get in the mail that tell you about Time Life's new music collection, things like that. Those are the kind of records I like to play. So anyway, it's a quick overview of my podcast studio. I do have some vintage things kind of laying around here that I do like to talk about every once in a while. I got my lava lamp up there. I've got a box camera that I got from my grandmother that belonged to my great grandfather. It goes back a long ways. Um, my vintage Pepsi can. I like to collect antique radios as well. I've got a few of them laying around. I like to collect vinyl records. Here's some more of my radios along my wall there. So yeah, there you go. And I do collect a lot of vinyl records, LPs, 45s, 78s, unique stuff. I always have fun with that kind of stuff. So hope you enjoyed this quick little tour of my podcast area and my little man cave. And thanks for watching the videos. I do appreciate it. And I will talk to you again soon. God bless.